guys, it's me Liv and I'm back with another makeup tutorial today. I did a Valentine inspired makeup tutorial with a lot of pinks and I'm so in love with this look. I would definitely wear this every single day if I could because I love pinks so much, and especially with makeup, it's so pretty. And I did something really easy that you guys can recreate. It has a lot of pink shadows. Anything would really work for this. I used the Sweet Peach palette and the Modern Renaissance palette a lot for this look, with a ColourPop eyeshadow that I got from a Kathleen Lights meetup that I went to. The ColourPop eyeshadow is very pinky and very glittery. It's almost like a glitter eyeshadow in my opinion, just because it's so intense and so beautiful. And it's really easy to apply with your fingers. If you use a brush, it's not going to come out the same as if you use your fingers, so it makes it just that much easier to not have to have a brush for the eyeshadow, which is awesome. Hopefully soon my next video will be a talk through video so I can talk with you guys and be more chill and not be a voice through, but this one is going to be a voiceover. And if you want to know how to get this look, just keep watching. Hey guys, so to start this tutorial I'm going to prime my eyes with some concealer. I'm going to use the Maybelline Master Concealer, and I like this concealer a lot because it's really full coverage, so it's going to help prime my eyes for my eyeshadow. And I'm just blending that in, and I'm going to set it with some powder. For my eyeshadow, I wanted something really girly and pinky colored, so I went in with the Sweet Peach palette and I used the shade Candied Peach, and it's this really light pink shade for my transition shade, and I just buffed that in the crease with my Morphe E27 brush. To darken up my crease a little bit, I went in with the Modern Renaissance palette and I used the shade Rilgar, and it's this more orangey shade to deepen up the crease like I was saying. And I also went in with the shade Love Letter in the same place with a smaller, more detailed brush, and I packed this shade on the outer corner of my eye. I wanted something a little more deeper in a rich color, so I went in with the shade Venetian Red in the Anastasia palette, and it just helped to deepen up everything and make it more sultry looking. And I also went back in with the Candied Peach shade from the Sweet Peach palette to blend everything out. Now for my lid color, I went in with the ColourPop Super Shock eyeshadow in the shade Meetup, and I put that all over my lid with my fingers. Now I wanted a little transition between my outer corner and my lid color, so I went in with the shade Candied Peach from the Sweet Peach palette. To highlight my brow bone, I used the Stila Kitten eyeshadow. And then I wiped all of the fallout from the eyeshadows away from under my eyes with a makeup wipe, and I also cleaned up the edges of my eyeshadow. To prime my face and make it a little more tackier for foundation, I used the Nivea Men Post Shave Balm Cream, and I also went in with a pore filler to fill in my pores in my T-zone. For my foundation, I used the Makeup Forever HD foundation, and I haven't used this foundation very much, but I've come to like it a lot because it's really, really full coverage, and I love a full coverage foundation. And I just buffed it in with my M439 brush from Morphe with some circular motions. To highlight and conceal my under eyes, I used the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer, my Ride or Die Concealer. It is so amazing, so full coverage, so perfect, the perfect shade and everything. I love this concealer so much, I could talk about it forever, but yeah, that's all I'm going to say, and I just put it where I highlight my face. I'm just going to buff that concealer in with my Beauty Blender. For this look, I thought I would cream contour just so it'd be a little more light and not as harsh as a normal powder contour would be. So I went in with the Maybelline concealer in the shade Cafe, and it's the perfect kind of warm tone shade for me, that it's not going to look too ashy or way too warm as like a red shade would be. And I'm just going to buff that in with my Beauty Blender and try to keep it a little higher on my cheekbone and not as low, and bring it down to where the contour would lose the effect of lifting up your face. Now to set my concealer in my whole entire face, I used some Airspun loose powder in my Beauty Blender, and I applied it where I put my concealer and underneath my contour to sharpen that up a little bit, kind of like the baking method but with creams and not with powders. I like to use loose powders to set my face rather than compact powders sometimes, because it's going to set your face for a longer time period and it'll keep all of your makeup in place for so much longer and sharpen everything up. After letting the powder set for a little bit, I'm just going to buff it away with a brush. Today I decided to use just a bronzer to warm up my face, and I'm going to use the Wet n Wild Coloricon Bronzer in the shade Bikini Contest. This is a really good shade for my skin tone, and I used the Morphe E3 brush to do this, and it has a good taper to it so you can get really precise in where you want your bronzer to be. For blush, I wanted something really pink to go with this whole pink makeup look, and I'm going to use a Smashbox blush in the shade True Pink. And I'm just going to lightly apply this on my cheek because these blushes are super pigmented. For my lower lash line shadow, I'm going to use the shades Love Letter and Venetian Red from the Anastasia palette on a definer brush really close to my lash line, and I'm not bringing it too far into my inner corner. And then I'm going to buff that out with a pencil brush with the shade Real Gar to bring the warmth into the lower lash line. To make this look a little bit more light and fresh, I'm going to use a white shade from the Anastasia palette, and I'm going to put that in my inner corner before putting the highlight shade so it'll open up my eyes a lot more. And then I'm just going to highlight my inner corners with the Stila Kitten eyeshadow as well. To also open up my eyes, I'm going to put a white eyeliner in my waterline, and this is the NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in the shade Milk. For my lashes, I'm just going to give them a little curl, and I'm going to apply the Maybelline Rocket Volume Mascara to my lashes, my top and lower lashes. Now for my highlight, I wanted a soft glow, so I went in with the e.l.f. Baked Blush in the shade Pinktastic, and this is a really natural kind of highlight that if you want a natural glow, this would be a good highlight to use for. But I kind of wanted a little more highlight, obviously, so I went in with the Stila Kitten eyeshadow once again and just applied that a little over the top of it. For my lips, I went in with this really bright pink liquid lipstick from Revlon. There's actually a liquid lipstick at the drugstore. That was pretty interesting that I found. But whenever I applied this, I didn't really want a matte kind of lipstick, so then I went over it with a really bright pink lip gloss, and this just gave it a little gloss to the lips. And that is it for this very girly makeup tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!